Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Tim Meyer, here for the Romeo Sports Recap, powered by the Mitt TV. Remember, this show is available on both YouTube and Spotify. And before we begin, a word from our sponsors. This podcast is powered by the Mitt TV of Romeo, Michigan. If you're looking to start a podcast for your business or personal use, look no further than the Mitt TV. They can get you access to equipment, a production engineer, and can even edit your podcast. That's all right here at the Mitt TV of Romeo, Michigan. And you can contact them right now via email at mitt.tvpodcast@gmail.com. That's mitt.tvpodcast@gmail.com. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Romeo Sports Recap. I'm Tim Meyer, and I'm here with head varsity football coach Kurt Reines. And Kurt, welcome to the show. Thanks for being on here today.
Yeah, excited to be here.
Hey, you guys are doing all right this year. You had a little bit of a rough start, and I don't know what. Maybe there's some factors I know that attributed to that, but you guys have come back and reeled off 4 straight wins and have a chance to win the MAC Red title. Where do you see, or what would you say is the reason maybe for that turnaround to shift it into the W count?
Yeah, it would be interesting even for our kids to reminisce back on early in football. I kept just telling them, the key to this season is we have to keep it getting better and improve, each week. That's the goal. Really our program has turned into a program that is always a senior-heavy team. So when those seniors leave, it's a new turnover. And, we had a lot of guys that were returning that had experience, but we had moved a lot of guys around to different positions, trying to maximize their strengths. So in some regards, like game 1, defensively, we only had one kid who was starting in the position that he did the year before. Some other guys had started a game or 2 here and there, but they weren't
not the game you want to go against an all-state quarterback.
And, offensively, we ended up having, I think, 4 kids who had started a game at their same position last year. But you still look at that is a new group. And a lot of people don't realize it's not even just the kids. It's the interaction between the kids and the coaches. Like, we're trying to figure out what they can handle and what they can't. Where do we put them to maximize their skill set? So it's kind of a learning process of us seeing what they can do, adjusting, moving them to different positions. And I think that's one of the things that we've done a good job as the kids have kept getting better and the coaches have evolved what we're asking them to do to try kind of fitting their skill set.
To their abilities,
yeah.
And to the players' abilities. And you've had some improved players. Well, for the fact is, Sammy Nepa, your starting quarterback, actually was out maybe, let's call it a game and a half. And that second game against Grosse Pointe South may have been a different story if Sammy had been playing, but it wasn't to be. But when he came back, he looked pretty sharp.
Yeah, no, he's put in the time. If you were to come in the gym all winter on a Wednesday morning, he was in there, and he put in the work to improve. And he had a great junior year, and but I think from a confidence and intellectual understanding the game, what a defense is trying to take away, that extra year of experience and the extra work, especially in the classroom, I think really helped him out.
I think, too, also he demonstrates good leadership skills, and he's always there to make sure that somebody does something good, somebody needs to be picked up. You see Sammy there talking to him or give him a little pat on the.
Yeah, and what a lot of people don't always look at the quarterback to be one of your fiercest competitors, but he is one of the fieriest guys on our team, and sometimes it takes them off guard when the quarterback's the one that's gritting his fist and shaking at you and saying, "Come on, let's go," but that's kind of how he is.
Well, yeah, and his brother's on the team, and he actually threw a touchdown pass to his brother against Chippewa Valley. And I asked him, I said, well, when in doubt, always look for your brother. He's got to be out there somewhere. He said, he goes, yeah, well, he told me he's open. I go, well, he tells you that every play.
Yeah.
Offensively, in general, some of the guys that maybe are coming through for you this year?
Yeah, I mean, really, the group that's came through and probably has allowed us to be successful most is our offensive line. It's a group that doesn't have a lot of depth. They're undersized, but they have just gotten better each week. And really, we've gone as our offensive line has gone. So they're really the ones that deserve most of the credit for the turnaround this season, because they've just gotten better and better each week. And we had some kids that were out that didn't play early that have made it back, which that has helped.
That helps.
And then, really offensively, we have probably really like 8 starting skill kids. It just depends on what package we're in and, who's in. Sometimes we have 3 running backs in. Sometimes we have 4 receivers in. So it kind of changes on, how we want to attack the opponent that week.
Yeah, you've got, Parker, Cahoon, and Troy Smith kind of speed guys, but then you bring in a jumbo package with Proctor, Tayshawn, and he's not, I saw him do a little high. I tried to do a little high step on his touchdown there, but he's a big dude to bring down. He's a load.
Yeah, no, yeah, really. When we have Ryan Rohrborn in, and one thing that people probably overlook is he was our leading rusher last year, and he knew for the team's sake that it would help us if he moved over and was a primary guy on defense. And he's still on offense half the time, but he doesn't get the carries that he did last year. So I think sometimes people forget about the sacrifices kids make, to help the team out. And he's been one of those guys that, he doesn't leave the field a ton and has a big impact. Tayshawn's another one who's just really came on both sides of the ball lately. He's been playing phenomenal on defense the last couple of weeks. And
yeah, you put him into the what do you call it, the plug position almost, really, defensive tackle, and he moves some people. I don't know where he comes from or what his lineage is, but man, he's a big dude and he can move some people. Anybody surprise you this year that you thought was probably not going to play, or maybe only sparingly?
Not really. I mean, we see these guys so much, with high school football being year-round now. For the most part, you kind of have an idea. I know, one of the kids on offense that didn't really get a chance to contribute much last year, and as a coach, I told guys, watch out for Will Locke. Starts at guard for us, and you just can see it in someone's eye. They got the look of I'm in.
I want it. I'm in.
Yeah, and
want a shot at the title.
Yeah, he's a kid that even though he plays lacrosse, he would still come in after school before lacrosse practice, get his lifts in, and those things you start to see kids trending in the right direction,
doing the little things that make success.
And then really one of our captains, who you'll have on here in a little bit, Nick Miller. He didn't get a lot of time last year, but he was a kid who, stayed the course, worked hard, and has had a phenomenal season and is a team captain for us. And, that's one thing that I think is maybe a little more unique about our program. Sure, parents will complain, they want to see their kid play more, but we play way more kids than most schools do.
That is true.
And I think we do a good job, and it's both the coaches and players, but the developing kids and giving them a shot. So,
and let's just one couple more questions. Just earlier in the year, we just talked about a little bit defensively, you've made a turn a little bit. It looks like, I don't know if you got a little faster, or the kids got a little bit more film time in, that they're at the right place at the right thing. But I mean, what did you guys do after 0-2?
Well, really that first game, like I said, we had guys starting in positions that they hadn't played. So, and then facing a team that's a triple option team, we decided to sell out for the triple option. Well, they ran 4 plays of triple option that game. They came out and did everything but that. And they were really more of a wildcat team with their quarterback, who was the front runner for Mr. Football until he got injured. But we kind of sold out on one thing, and that's not what we saw. And when you kind of saw it like that, you only have so many layers built into the scheme at that time, so you don't have too many other options to go to. And now, and that's one of the things I still think that's, especially our defense. If our ceiling's at 10, we're still probably at like maybe hitting a 7 right now. We still have lots of room to go because we've done so many different things, and we finally kind of fell into like where their sweet spot is, and now we can build some of the nuance in the little micro adjustments and technique and calls that make a big difference. We're just now getting into that stuff. So, it's kind of, you put layer phase 1 in, and then you build on it and build on it and build on it. So now we're pretty multiple on defense.
And of course, you have the benefit of now team like Stevenson having played a few games. You've seen them a little bit now, and so kind of some of the things that they can do. And so it makes it maybe not a little easier. Well, it does maybe in a way. You got a little advanced knowledge. It's pretty good. Hey, before I let you go, we got to talk. This is the 100 years of Romeo football, and earlier this year we got to experience the Peachman uniforms, which was the original name of the team. But tell us a little bit about, first of all, what it means for you, being that you played in the program, and maybe some of the memories that you might have.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I'm the person I am today if it wasn't for the coaches that poured into me. And, I look, years ago, my wife had a surprise birthday party for me. And when I looked around the room, it was all either guys that coached me, had coached with me, or guys that had played for me. And those are my people. Yeah. So, like Romeo football, I don't think I can separate myself from Romeo football. Like I'm one with Romeo football. But
it's in the DNA.
Yeah, having Dennis Sabozen and Greg Ganfield as coaches, and then having the opportunity to coach with Greg Ganfield. Dave Burns was a coach back then, and Jim Calley was a coach my sophomore year at Romeo, and he's still around with the wrestling program and football for the middle school. But then just hearing the stories about Barnable and how, like most people don't know that the original football teams all were 7, 17, 27, 37, but it ended with a 7 because he had a big superstition of like that was the lucky number. So when you only have 13 kids on your team, you can do that. And the original Bulldog was named 7. So, most people don't know we were actually the Romans at one time.
I did not know that either.
Yeah, and then the Peachman, and then, as the legend goes, as Barnabo said, that was too soft, and he had a pet bulldog that was their lucky charm, so that's when we became the Bulldogs. But then, looking at, some of the playing time, my sophomore year, we lose the first game of the year or second game of the year to Frazier, only to play them in the regional championship game, beat them in the last couple minutes, go on to the semifinals. So there's a lot of great memories there. And,
And you also experienced with the Romeo Bulldogs a state championship.
Yeah, I mean, that was obviously a very special day for this community. And I think, obviously to say that you did something that most people don't get to is pretty incredible. But I still think the thing that made that a special memory was just the turnout, seeing the crowd, the sea of red. And yes. I would imagine we still hold the record for attendance there. So,
Yeah, it's like the whole town got buses and went down.
Yeah, kind of says a lot about our community.
Yeah. What do you want to leave as a legacy here, Romeo? What would be a perfect legacy for Kurt Reines to leave with Romeo?
Yeah, I think like just yesterday, unfortunately, one of our starters had an injury, and there's a good chance he's done for the season. And I think I maybe took it harder than him, and we had some tears and hugs together. But at the end of the day, I hope that kids look back and just say, like, he was there for us, and I would want that to be my legacy, that I was there for the players.
Well, Coach, we wish you the best of luck, and this will probably air after you win the MAC Red. against Stevenson, and we wish you the best luck for the rest of the season and in the state playoffs because you'll be there.
Yep. Thank you very much.
Okay, take care.
Before we continue, here on the Romeo Sports Recap Show, a word from our sponsors. This podcast is powered by the Mitt TV of Romeo, Michigan. If you're looking to start a podcast for your business or personal use, look no further than the Mitt TV. They can get you access to equipment, a production engineer, and can even edit your podcast. That's all right here at the Mitt TV of Romeo, Michigan. And you can contact them right now via email at mitt.tvpodcast@gmail.com. That's mitt.tvpodcast@gmail.com. Now back to the show.
And welcome back to the Romeo Sports Recap. I'm here with varsity football players Nick Miller and Ryan Rorburn. And gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
First off, explain what positions you guys are playing. What role is yours in the Romeo football program?
You go first, Ryan.
All right. So last year I was a starting running back for the team, but this year as a senior, my role has changed to I'm primarily a defensive player now, where I play a hybrid between outside linebacker and defensive end. Like some games, like I was explicitly just like an outside linebacker. Some games just a D end, and especially in the last game versus Dakota, I really played both. And then on the offensive side of the ball, I still am a running back / wing back.
And how about you, Nick?
This year I'm the starting strong safety. Last year I was kind of backed up to Alex Kelly, but this year I'm the starting strong safety.
And guys, let's talk a little bit about your season so far. So, you guys started out 0-2, and not that you didn't, you had some pretty stiff competition early. How did it affect the team? You're 0-2. What's the effect?
I feel like it kind of got our attention. Like we weren't down in the dumps because we were losing. We realized that we really had to do something. We ended up talking the captains, and we realized that we were to have a captain-led meeting with no coaches, just the players, and kind of go over what we think we need to do to turn the season around.
Anybody get smacked around, Ryan?
No one in particular. It's just we said we know we're a talented group, and we've worked hard. Literally last year, first day after we lost in the playoffs to Eisenhower, we had a lift, and a lot of guys were there. So literally the day after we lost in playoffs, we were already back in the weight room getting ready for the next year. So we've been working literally since the first day season ended last year to get ready for this year. And we knew that we're a very talented team. We can go very far. And starting 0-2, we just got to step it up. And we just started talking. And
it resulted, in a victory against Eisenhower, right?
Yeah, it was a very big win.
You guys were up pretty big in that game, and then all of a sudden they came back a little bit. But, hey, you prevailed in the end. What do you think attributed to that victory?
I feel like it's a rivalry for us. We really wanted to win. A lot of us know kids that are on Ike, and I feel like it meant a lot more to us rather than just being a win. It's something meant something really to all of us players to win that game.
And you came back the next game, and who was the one that got the kickoff return?
I think it was Troy Smith.
Troy. And he came down and got the kickoff return. That was kind of as Coach said, you had a defense in there to stop a certain, what you thought was going to be their offense, and they sort of changed up on you. But what did you think through that game? You guys, it was kind of seesaw. You guys were tussling for control of the game, both teams. And what was kind of going through your mind in that game? Do you really had a feeling you were going to beat them?
I feel like going into it, we knew there would be a tough opponent, but we started off strong, and I feel like we almost got comfortable with it, which let them come back a little bit.
I mean, I feel like any team in the MAC Red obviously deserves to be there. They're a great team. So I feel like we just had such a good first half, and we were up 21-0 at half.
Yeah.
And I think we realized wow, like we really are a good team. And I think it just got to our heads a little bit in the second half. Chippewa came out hungry, and they made it a game again. But luckily, we were able to prevail. I mean, we stepped up when it mattered most and got the win.
Well, I mean, that's what good teams do, right? Most memorable part of the Dakota game, this is a big win for you. It got a lot of exposure for the program because it was on statewide TV. But what is the biggest memory you take away from that game there, Nick?
I feel like the biggest memory was really just the end of the game after we have after we handshake all the Dakota kids and we get there and we pray, and really looking at the scoreboard, since middle school, our team hasn't, at least through the program as I've grown up, we haven't beaten Dakota, and looking at the scoreboard and just seeing that we beat them was the best feeling ever.
How about you, Ryan?
I feel like my greatest memory was really just those first two drives, our first drive on defense and offense. I mean, I really feel like I set the tone early with that interception and a run back. And, I mean, our offense came out ready, and they scored within 2 plays.
Describe that interception. What were you reading on that?
So I was split out as outside linebacker on that play. So my read is just, run to pass. If it's a run, react to the run. But if not, it's a pass, just drop back. And I obviously saw the tackle, scooch back, obviously, into his pass drop.
Pass protection.
So then I obviously just get to my zone, and quarterback doesn't even realize that I'm dropping. He thinks that I'm just going to come, late on a blitz. So quarterback doesn't even see me drop, and I'm right there, and basically throws it to me. And then I just take it and just run with it and run him over. And I feel like that really just set the tone for that game because our offense came out 2 plays later and scored. And that's just my favorite memory because it really, I feel like, just proved to us that Dakota's human. Every year that I've played Dakota, we've lost to them. And I don't think it's been close any time. And I feel like especially for –
feels good.
Yeah, for our class, we've just had this block in our head thinking Dakota's unbeatable. Dakota's the best. They're the best team we're going to play all year. And I feel like really after those 2 drives, it really just showed us we can beat these guys. Let's go. And
yeah, I mean, Dakota made some turnovers, but that, and you got points out of them, which is always important. But it seemed like you guys amped up your hitting in that game. I mean, had a guy get a penalty for over-blocking. Was it? Over-blocking or something
like that.
It's football. Over-blocking, but I guess tried to put him up in the first row of the stands, I guess.
Yeah, it's like that scene in The Blind Side.
Yes, yeah, where the guy takes him and he just plows him up into the fence and everything. But you know what I noticed in that game was that you guys, Dakota hits hard, no doubt about it. I mean, but you guys, that was probably your best hitting game that I remember seeing. I mean, you guys really hit that game.
I'd agree. I feel like something that I attribute to that is we've been practicing all week, every single week we go in the game knowing that we're going to have a tough opponent. And I feel like we had this feeling that we want it more. Every week we go in, especially this week, never beating Dakota, we knew we had to do something more than other weeks. And not saying that we shouldn't have been hitting just as good every other week, but we knew that we had to step it up a little bit. And I feel like knowing that if you hit them a little bit harder, they're going to dwindle down every single play a little bit. And I feel like that attributed to us winning.
How about you, Ryan? Do you agree with that? That was probably one of the hardest hitting games this year?
Absolutely, and I really just feel like that all started when we were in the inflatable bulldog about to run out. I mean, I've been there many times, and it's always an electrifying moment, but it just felt different that time. Everyone just felt like they were just an extra level up, just ready to go.
A little step higher, an emotional level. And Coach says that you guys if the ceiling for how great the team can be, is the ceiling for that is 10, he figures you guys are about at a 7. Do you agree with that? Do you think this is the best you can play?
I agree to that. I feel like we get a lot better throughout the season. I feel like there's still a lot of improvements that we can make on defense. Since I play defense, I'm with them most of the time. I feel like there's a lot of little things that we could improve on to make our game just that much better.
I completely agree. I mean, just seeing our growth from week 1 to where we are now, I feel like we're a completely different team. If you go back and watch our game against Adams and our last game against Dakota, you're going to go
that's not different team.
Yeah, that's not even the same team out there. And I feel like we still have room for improvement. I mean, just seeing our week-to-week growth, we still have 3 more games before playoffs even start. So that's 3 more weeks that we just have to get better and better and better.
Yeah, and you'll you know, to beat Stevenson if you do on Friday, which I think you have a good shot, even though it's at their place, if all things go right, and winning the MAC Red, but the least you could do is tie, right? Is that the way it is? Yeah, and so that'll be great. But you have 2 teams at the end of your schedule. Roseville and Grand Blanc are very strong teams. Only advantage you have is you got them here. And how much does that mean to have those good teams come in here and play at Barnable Field against you?
I feel like that's like a very big thing to us. I feel like we have like one of the best student sections in the area, and I feel like just like the vibe that's in the air when you run out of like the locker room and run through like the tunnel, it's like a complete game changer just from like not even playing, but just like the people that are there are just change how the game goes for us.
I feel like it really just helps us because we were at both those schools last year. When we were at Roseville, it was just pretty quiet. I mean, didn't have like a big student turnout, nothing like that. So it just felt like we were playing in a completely different environment. And then what really gives Grand Blanc the home field advantage, I feel like, is they're almost like an hour bus ride away. So, I mean, an hour bus ride, some kids fall asleep on the bus. Some kids start screwing around. Like, it's really hard just to get, like, mentally prepared over an hour-long bus ride. So I feel like that gives us a real big advantage playing them, is that they got to spend an hour coming here.
That's a consideration a lot of people don't think about. I was talking to some of the Eisenhower coaches. Well, they got a bus to their home games.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird, but anyway, it's one of the quirky things in high school football. Guys, tell me, Nick, what is it that you do when you're not doing football? What kind of games are you playing out there?
Outside of football, really. I mean, when it's like summer, I like going golfing. I like going fishing during the winter. I also go ice fishing, but I also like hang out with friends on the weekend. Nothing out of the usual.
What kind of conversations do you have with your friends when you're hanging out?
Mostly about football or like different like sports cards and stuff.
Yeah. You watch NFL football?
I do.
And who would be your favorite Detroit Lion?
Yeah, Kirby Joseph.
Okay. Yep. Right. Safety makes sense, right? How about Ryan? What do you do when football's not, calling you?
When I'm not busy playing football, I've really gotten into trading card collecting, whether that's sports cards or Pokemon cards. I've really just gotten big into trading cards, the hobby. And I also do like spending time with my family and friends. I also do like work. I mean, I feel like working, it's just kind of relaxing for me because not only am I making myself a few bucks, I feel like I'm really just like, I'm still like doing something, being productive and like doing something for a greater cause.
And I'll let you know, I've got about 10,000 baseball, football, hockey cards all the way back from the 60s, all the way when I was a real little kid, all the way to almost today. Some packs not even open, hockey cards and football, basketball. It's crazy. I want to get rid of them. I want to sell them, but I'm afraid, to sell them that I don't know enough about what I should get, and especially the ones from the 60s. They're a little older, but I love doing that too. That's a good collection. But I would ask you a real serious question now. I've been starting to ask all the kids that come on the show. Today we've got you guys are being barraged by a lot of social media, a lot of noise coming at you. How do you handle it?
I feel like for me, like, I don't get too caught up in it. Like, I'm not going, like, there's a lot of things where, like, people from other schools are talking back and forth saying that, like, this team's not good, and I feel like I try to just separate myself from that because if you don't take part in it, then, like, it won't really affect you, I feel like.
I'm on the same exact boat as Nick. I mean, especially with the rise of social media, there's, like, our school has, like, 5 different social media accounts. And they just, like, post stuff, like, the day before a game, like, trying to post stuff about, like, the other team. And then, like, the other school do the same thing. Like, some kids on our team have had, like, some pretty – now, I'm not even going to say any names, but, like, some just weird, like, pictures of them posted about them, like, on the internet from another school. And, I mean, I feel like it's just high school football. I mean, I feel like we shouldn't be doing that to other guys. Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's pretty disrespectful all over just a game. But I mean, I really just don't get caught up in it because, quite frankly, I just think it's silly and dumb, and it's a waste of time, and a lot of people can take it the wrong way.
Yeah, and that is a danger. Well, two things. One thing, you're not as good as everybody tells you are, and you're not as bad as everybody tells you are. So that's one thing. But maybe rely on your parents a little bit for saying, hey, is this true what they're saying, or whatever. And I guess more than a couple of things is just as long as you're watching the Romeo Sports Recap Show or the Mitt TV football broadcast, you'll be all right. So I always give you a fair shake. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us here on the Romeo Sports Recap Show, and I wish you the best of luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Thank you. It was a pleasure to be on here.
Thank you for joining us here on the Romeo Sports Recap Show. For the Mitt TV, I'm Tim Meyer, saying we'll see you next time right here on the Romeo Sports Recap Show.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in to this episode of the Romeo Sports Recap Show, powered by the Mitt TV. Remember, this show is available on both YouTube and Spotify. You can subscribe to the Mitt TV YouTube page and click the notification bell to stay up to date on the latest episodes of the Romeo Sports Recap. Or you can find us on Spotify and follow our podcast, Romeo Sports Recap. From the Mitt TV, I'm Tim Meyer, signing off with a final word from our sponsors. This podcast is powered by the Mitt TV of Romeo, Michigan. If you're looking to start a podcast for your business or personal use, look no further than the Mitt TV. They can get you access to equipment, a production engineer, and can even edit your podcast. That's all right here at the Mitt TV of Romeo, Michigan. And you can contact them right now via email at mitt.tvpodcast@gmail.com. That's mitt.tvpodcast@gmail.com.